And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. A couple days ago, I had put out a community post saying, hey, listen, if you guys have any cards out there that you've been buying or any Pokemon pickups you've been doing recently, just shoot me over an Instagram message and I'll do a video where I'll just discuss your buys and I'll showcase them for everybody. Now, this is actually the second time I've done a video like this before. I've done it once in the past, and I thought it was a success. So that's exactly what we're going to do in today's video again. We're just going to, all I did was copy and paste exactly what you guys sent me. I didn't even like take the time to take out spelling mistakes and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. It's always fun. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do on today's video. And I was very lucky. A lot of you guys actually reached out, sent me stuff either through Instagram. I think one person sent me it through email. So the person that sent it out through email, his buys are also part of this. So I think it's going to be fun. And I just have to do one thing, and all that is I'm just going to add a thumbnail to this. So now there was one person out there who brought up a good point, and it's something I want to address before we get into this video. Is he had wrote in the comments of one of my videos pretty much saying, hey, PK, if you're going to go live, you should try to interact with the chat a little bit more, maybe answer some more questions. And the person who wrote that, I agree with you 100%. And I'm definitely going to work on that. Now on today's video, the only problem is it's all in a PowerPoint slide. So I'm definitely going to be having to look at the PowerPoint slide, and I won't be able to look at, say, the chat as much because I'm sharing my screen doing stuff like that. But he's definitely right. Everybody out there, I just want you to know, I am reading the comments after the fact. I am taking what you say to heart, but also something very important I want you guys to all keep in mind. When I do all these videos as live chats, even if I can't always interact with the chat, which is something, like I said, I'm going to work on, but I do like to have the chat up there because I like right now, just reading some of the people's names in there. Chief Kane's in there, Magikarp, Trap Rock, Bang, Pokey Collectibles, Ancient Muse in here, Professor Oak. You know, a lot of these guys know each other. So just by having this chat available, you know, people could have internal conversations throughout my chats. And like on today's video, hopefully you can look at what people are buying and you could put comments. So I do like to have the live chat feature just for that. And honestly, when I pre-record a video, I'm actually like, if I pre-record a video and I mess up, I'm going to have to re-record and stuff, where when I go live, it's just, it is what it is. So these are all things just kind of behind the scenes, but I just want that one person to know who wrote that comment. I am reading it. I am taking it into an account. So first thing we're going to do, we're just going to share the screen and we're going to go right into what people are buying. So we got this. We're going to go, hold on a second, view. All right. So the first viewer's buy came from the Pokey Isles, and he said he did sell over 5K worth of PS returns so far to help fund this, but you can see what he has helped fund. So it looks like he collects two things. He collects Lugia cards and he collects Umbreon cards. And not only does he collect Lugia cards, he collects some pretty high-end Lugia cards. Obviously, you got the Crystal from Aquapolis, Neo Gen First Edition, and a PSA 9. You got the Legend cards. Then Umbreon, he has the Sky Ridge, the Aquapolis, Call Legends, on the Undaunted, and then the Delta Species Umbreon. So Pokey Isles, when it comes to your taste is a 6.9 out of 6.9. Your taste is sexy when it comes to cards, because these are awesome cards. And the fact that this is what you're collecting, and this is how, you know, I always talk about this all the time on my channel. Sometimes I don't have a choice but to sell some of my cards in order to continue to grow my collection and get it to where I want. These cards right here are all beautiful. I really like your style when it comes to cards. So all around, A+. So next comment came from Matthew H. And he said, oh, just so you guys know, if you guys send me a direct message on Instagram and it has like your full name, And if it's not like a name I recognize through YouTube, I'm just going to, hyphenate your last name with the first letter and a period. Now, if you change your IG name to your actual like Pokemon handle, then I'll actually write the whole thing out. But Matthew H wrote, saw your YouTube post about recent purchases. Do trades count? Yeah, sure, trades count. He said a couple months ago he traded away one of his UPCs for somebody's Japan Post stamp box plus cash. So he didn't say how much cash he got. So, and I'm guessing it's whatever equaled market value for that UPC. He said he went back and forth on keeping it sealed, but decided to crack open the cards and send them for grading. He went with PSA for the Crimmer because the centering wasn't quite perfect, and then BGS for the Pika because it looked flawless. Matthew, you hit a home run on this one. The fact that, you thought the centering wasn't perfect on the Crimmer and you still hit the PSA 10, that's awesome. But the fact that you hit a pristine 10 black label on the Pikachu from the stamp promo, dude, good for you, man. Like, I have nothing to say, and I'd be shocked if anybody says you did the bad choice here. You did a fantastic choice. I don't even know what the premium for that card is right now, to be honest with you. I'm not a buyer for, modern black labels like this, but with that said, I'm not a fool. I know there is a lot of people out there that are buyers for this black label. So, dude, the fact that you traded a UPC to get both these cards and one of them hit the Beckett black label, home run. You did it. You won the Pokemon challenge. Next one came from Keenan M. Said, hey, PK, here's some possible content for you to blast on your next video, LL. Added this card for my PC. Thoughts was to regrade it with PSA for added value. So he only sent me this PWCC items 1, and he got this Zapdos EX. So I added this photo, and then also this is the tin up here. This is the original tin that the Zapdos came in it. And then I've seen these tins open before just because they have a Deoxys packs in it. So I just wrote, and they have 2 Legend Maker packs, and there's 3 packs in these tins that these Zapdos promos came in. They were 2 Legend Makers and 1 Deoxys. At least the ones that I have seen open in the past have the 2 Legend Maker and 1 Deoxys. And there was a little while where these tins kind of went under the radar. These Zapdoses aren't actually like crimped in like the plastics that a lot of the promos of this time were. They were very like kind of loosely put in the tin in the way that they would slide around a lot. So you wouldn't really get so much corner wear that bad, but you would get like weird edge wear on these cards, the way they would be like sliding back and forth because the edges really took more of the brunts than more or less the corners. But he picked this card up in a CDC 8.5 for $74, and then buyer's premium was like $14. I think you paid like right around market for this. These Zapdos EX cards being Black Star promos, like if you like them, go for it. If the Green Shiz is out there watching this video, maybe he should be looking to buy this tin someday. But no, this is a fine purchase. So next we got Riley. He said, hey, PK, here's my most recent pickup of a PSA 9 Hidden Legends Kyogre EX. I'm a huge fan of the EX era, specifically in PSA 9, because they're affordable while still having really low pops. I actually already have this card in a CGC 9, but all my other Kyogre, my favorite Pokemon cards, are in PSA slabs, so I want to make my collection match. First of all, I talk about it all the time. Hidden Legends. A lot of people think Hidden Legends is not a good set, but they are all mistaken. Hidden Legends does not have Gold Star cards in it, but it's still an awesome set. It has a lot of awesome like EX cards in it, and this Kyogre definitely being one of them. And this is a beautiful card. You didn't say what price you picked this card up in, but PSA 9, still a great grade. The fact that you say you buy PSA 9s because they're cheaper and you're able to grow your collection, much faster, bigger, that's fine. I think there is a ton of room for people to pick up PSA 9s for their personal collections for exactly what you just said. The fact that you can pick up a lot more of them and really grow your personal collection. And if you believe in cards like this in the vintage market over time, PSA 9s will definitely probably start to catch up eventually. I don't know when that will be, how long that will take, but I really like this, especially that this is your favorite Pokemon, man. Good. Like, love it. I love this buy. So next one is from Pokemon Wrestling Cards. He didn't send me a photo attached to it, but he just said he was a vendor at a car show Saturday and Sunday of about 140 tables in Mohegan Sun, Connecticut last weekend. Was surprised how much of the bulk modern slabs and raw singles are moving at market price. Moved about 220 slabs and trading up and selling. The hobby is alive and well from what I can see at card show. We are truly the 1% of the Pokemon hobby that are paying attention to the market. And to Pokemon Wrestling Cards, which is an awesome name, by the way. No, he's right. In a way, we are just the 1% of the people who are really spending a lot of time looking at this market. And I'm shocked at like a lot of the buys some people are doing, but then I have to remove myself a lot and say maybe people are not just as hyper focused about this hobby as maybe we are. So I just want to see something. Okay. So this buy came from AdamB. AdamB said, hey, I bought alts for Mew V and Sylveon V shipped for $75 total. Felt like it's a solid deal. I know Sylveon will drop some with the reprint coming, but he figured, hey, it's basically 25% off these cards. I should take it. Also, I got a Cynthia some month back for $35 shipped. Thoughts on that? So, I mean, I want to say right now with the market, this Mew V is probably like a couple bucks less than that Sylveon V. I would say that they're pretty close. I'd say maybe Sylveon selling for like, I don't know, $50 raw, maybe Mew sitting around 35 to 40. So yeah, you pay 75 for these. Like, I mean, I would say for what the market is currently at, if you really wanted these cards, you paid, 25% lower than market. So if you wanted them now, like that was a good deal for you at the time. And then obviously the Cynthia, Hidden Fates is just a banger set. We're probably gonna not see Hidden Fates be opened up as much, but the only problem is there's a ton of Hidden Fates out there. And the fact that this Cynthia card, you bought it for $35. I would say that this Cynthia, if I had to take a guess, is probably more like a $50 card. So you probably still did pretty good on that. But any of these three cards, send these cards away for grade, and you're gonna get a premium. Now, how long premiums on these super modern cards last graded in PSA 9s or 10s, that I don't know. That we could be living in the bubble of the PSA grading boom of all this modern stuff super fast. But even though I think we're in a, grading, I should call it grading bubble, people for whatever reason are not listening to any of that advice. They're still paying tons of money for all these cards in high grades. So like this Mew V, the Sylveon V, especially, like, grade these cards. You get lucky, hit the 10. Winner, chicken dinner on these cards. So yeah, I'm okay with this purchase. So the 90s collector said, I like to try to shop the stuff that's ending soon with just the phrase Pokemon, as you don't know what you'll end up with. So this is also something I love to do is, do a lot of my eBay searches, which is Pokemon items ending soon. Anybody out there who is going to do that, you better be super familiar with the market. You better be super familiar with a lot of different cards, because if you're not super familiar, you might find yourself overpaying for something. Or if you're not super familiar, you might actually find yourself missing out on a lot of stuff by doing this. But this is a good way to pick up stuff at auction for very cheap. And especially just like Pokemon Lot, you'd be shocked at what you find. But anyways, he said, and as you see, this was just Pokemon Hollow, and my other picture is just Pokemon cards. I got this lot of 43 reverse hollows from the EX era for $34. Even some Team Rocket returns. Have no idea how they would like, as this was the only picture ended. Oh man. See, this is what happens when I just copy and paste. Some of the spelling is rough. Around $35 ago. So around 35 or so were in mint condition, with the others being light play to near mint. So I don't know what he means by mint condition. Maybe he's talking gem mint, but I think 35 out of 43 is high for gem mint. So I don't know what the difference between mint condition and near mint is. But anyways, insane deal if you ask me. Yeah, man, looks like you did really good. Now, I cannot tell from this photo, but if your Squirtle from Fire Red Leaf Green right here, which is the background and like the back, I think it's actually what I made as the thumbnail of this video is this Squirtle. So if that is the reverse of that card even in like a PSA 8 graded pays for this entire collection. So you did very good. Now, if it's a non-holo, assuming you grade high, it's still like could get close to paying for this entire collection. So yeah, paying $34 for 43 of these cards, you're talking less than $1 a piece. You can't lose here. Like I'm already seeing like even like the Diddle Squirtle, you got so many bangers in here. So even like the Pichu and stuff, yeah. Psyduck, reverse holo. This is a great buy. Yeah, you did really good on this. So Dougie Fresh, always appreciate seeing you in the comments too. Dougie Fresh. He said, since hopefully you can keep this going, send 100 cards, 50 Pokemon, 50 sports at GMA for bulk $8. Got this back. Can't beat the GMA price at the moment. Some I will sell for the personal collection. I wish you'd start a PO box so we could send you things for a giveaway to the PK OGs on their lives. Much love as always. Well, I appreciate that, but I don't know. I feel like $8 for GMA is kind of a lot of money to spend. I don't know what their returns can be on GMA slabs. I've talked about GMA like a few times in the past. I thought there was a very small window, but it was $4.50 per card to be graded at the time, and the turnaround times were true 20-day turnaround times. I have no clue like if GMA would even be a play, but I wouldn't be doing any of this as a long-term Dougie Fresh. I would be doing this as like a quick turn and burn if you think that the market is still overinflated for some of these graded slabs. But I would think that some of these slabs might actually be less than like the raw value. So I'd be careful with some other grading card companies, especially with people lowering prices. So Samuel M said, my only recent purchase, Darkness Ablaze ETBs at $27.50 shipped. Zero way I could pass that up. So you pretty much picked up Darkness Ablaze ETBs pretty much close to distributor price. And so the crazy thing is I heard a lot of people doing that. And the other crazy thing on top of that is think about how much a Darkness Ablaze ETB was right before the reprint. It went from $100 down to distributor pricing. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. You circled the one for $25. I don't know if it was like $2.50 shipping or what. But yeah, $27.50. It's crazy how I've talked about this before, and I'll probably say it again a million times. It is crazy how fickle the modern market is. Just the slightest reprint could crush prices. And thinking about how much Darkness Ablaze ETBs cost right before this reprint is also ridiculous. But no, I like this buy, like $27.50. Even if these things creep back up to MSRP, at $39.99, like you're doing pretty good. So yeah, I like this buy, Samuel. So Sugary123, he was the one that sent it to me via email. So I wasn't able to copy the photo he sent in the email. This is just the card though. He said, hey there, Pokey Knowledge. Here's my recent purchase. I bought this raw Umbreon card from Aquapolis. Has some whitening on the back, and the seller listed it as EX Plus near mint. Umbreon is one of his favorite Pokemon, if not my favorite Pokemon, and I thought that this card is the most expensive from Aquapolis set after Crystal Lugia. Well, okay. So he said, so it might have some investability even in raw form. He paid 207 euros for it, including shipping. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you. Greetings from Athens, Greece. Best regards. Kowastas. I'm sure I butchered your name. I'm sorry. I'll just call you Sugary123. Yeah, 207 for this card. If you say there's some whitening on the side, EX Plus to near mint, so you could be talking like PSA 7 or 8. But assuming that this card is, still PSA 8 worthy, I'd say you still do good. I'd say that this card in the PSA 8 probably sells between, depending on the market, depending on the buyer that day, probably between $300 to $500 in a PSA 8. So split the difference, call this a $400 card in a PSA 8. Now, if it starts to go in lower grades, then you could start to get beat up pretty quickly at that 207 euros. I think the euro to dollar, somebody could probably say down in the chat like what the exchange is, but I say it's pretty close right now. I want to say it's like almost equal euros to dollar. Like maybe it's like, I don't know, 10 cents more like per euro to the dollar. So like for every $1.10, you get €1, something probably close to that. But no, I love this buy. I love Aquapolis. I love Expedition. I love Aquapolis. I love Skyridge. Like I've made it pretty clear with some of the cards I like. So we got another one from Matthew S. He said, I just grabbed the last couple cards I needed to complete my CP6 mint binder. Those secret rares are pretty pricey now. Once the last cards arrive, he'll make a short video to show everyone. The binder will have Japanese base, CP6, Japanese 25th anniversary sets. It's freaking awesome. So this is a YouTube link for that video if any of you guys want to watch it. Then he also said he's working on completing more of my vintage Japanese sets. Cannot pass up on base set art electrode from Jungle. So he's got a Misty's. So he's got a Misty's from Gym 1 Japanese, PSA 8, $31.02, 3102, and then the Jungle first edition. So if you guys don't know, the Jungle first edition cards, this is the base set artwork, and then after they realized they made the mistake, and then after the first edition, that's why like Jungle has two different electrode artworks. PSA 7, I mean, these are low prices. If you like low grades and you just want the card graded, like you can definitely go with 7s or 8s, and $17.50, like convenience fee of having this card graded, assuming you're okay with the lower grade. Like, yeah, I guess I could see all these being okay buys. This is where I always recommend to people to like grade their own cards. But I mean, even $17 for PSA, I mean, how long is it even going to take for PSA to get that low if PSA's currently prices at $30 for grading? I mean, all three of these cards are more or less with the price of the card raw plus grading fees cheaper. So we live in such a weird time in this hobby where it's like you got to take grading fees into account and how long you're going to hold the card for. So if there's a little bit of convenience fees here, but if you're okay with the buys, like that's okay. So TCG Tony US said, hey PK, here's my purchase submission. I bought this 99 2000 PSA 7 Machamp because I love base set Machamp. The stamp looks gray or faded, and it looks like a strong 7 for a reasonable price. This is actually one of the few cards that is extremely out of my wheelhouse because I'm very familiar with the Machamp. I know the Shadowless from the 2-player theme deck, and I know the Unlimited from the two-player theme decks. I know what they go for raw. I know what they go for graded. Now, for the 99 2000 print is the only thing that I am actually not sure on this. I mean, I don't know what this. So this is $100 plus $30 shipping, so $130, assuming you probably didn't pay that much for shipping, but let's just say you paid $100 US for this card. Now, if this was just the normal unlimited, I'd say you definitely overpaid a lot for it. And just because, you could pick these cards up sealed for the normal 2-player starter deck, like sealed, I would say between $30 and $40, you get them sealed, and out of the packet, they'll grade a 7, probably like guaranteed, but more likely than not, they're going to grade higher than a 7. So I would not tell you to buy this card. Now, this is where I'm confused. Is that 99 2000 variant? I don't even know what the pop can be on the 99 2000 variant for this card. So that might be a good price for this card. I honestly don't know. because of that 99 2000 variant, the fourth print. I don't know. But if you know this market and you know what this card, how rare or how not rare this card is, I have no clue. I don't know. Sorry. I'd say maybe this is a good buy just because of how rare this probably is. But if it's not rare at all, and then you might have overpaid with what I just said, like just buying these cards sealed right out of the theme deck. People sell them between $30 to $40. But again, that is not the fourth print variant that you'll probably pick up. And then even shadowless ones, I would say probably sell between like probably close to $200 for a sealed shadowless one. So, but yeah, this fourth print variant, no clue. Interesting. Thank you for sending this though. This gives me something I need to look up and just familiarize myself with. What does the Machamp 99 2000 variant sell for? Because PSA 7 I would say is low for this card, but I don't know about the variant. Yeah, that one stumped me. So your average player, always appreciate it. Your average player, always see him down in the comments and stuff. I'm always like shocked that he is so young in this hobby. He said, "Hey PK, thought I might join in this time. My new username is usually your average player, and I bought this card for $30. I have no tie to older errors since he was born in 2004, but it seemed right. This is a really low pop 10 and stunning art." But then he also wrote, "Not an investment purchase, but fun to add to the collection, and last sold was $70, so I'd say steal question mark." Now, I don't know. A common Houndor from Expedition. Expedition has some really good print quality. $30 is probably paying like this card in PSA 10. It's paying, I think the $30 for the 10 is the convenience fee that you're paying for this card, because there's a lot of these cards out there in people's collections that just have never been graded because they were never worth to be graded. But the fact that some of these are selling for $70, I'm wondering if that was like the reverse how. If you like this card, your average player, I'd say good for you, man. But yeah, like $30 is you paid the convenience fee on this card. I would definitely recommend you just, if you really like this card, picking up a pile of them in near mint condition, waiting for PSA prices to get lower, and then just grading a bunch of these yourselves and pulling a couple tens. That would be my advice. But no, but if you like this card, man, it is awesome artwork. So I'll give you that much. So ZebP said, "Hey PK, here's a card I purchased recently. I have been recently picking up secret rares from XY era. I got back into collecting in 2016. So these cards are very nostalgic to me. I collect PSA 9s because I like to have more cards in my PC rather than the rarest version of the card. What do you think of the long-term value of these cards? Thanks for doing this style video. It is very interesting to see what other collectors are buying." So, 2016 XY Breakpoint, the Gyarados. I like this card. I think this card is undervalued. The only problem is I would really want you to pick up this card raw and grade it yourself. I know that the grading, I would say probably the raw value for this card is between $20 and $30 ish. So between $20 to $30. This is the thing. It's like, are you buying this for your PC, or I don't know. There's some cards out there that I would feel more comfortable with people grading themselves, but I would say that $70 is probably close to market for this. I would say that this card, you might actually be able to pick it up for maybe cheaper, because I believe these cards are undervalued. So I like where your head is at with this card. and it is a beautiful card. And this Gyarados, I mean, it's got everything going for it, especially being like the red Gyarados and everything. I'd say if you're happy with this card, man, that's all that matters. And if you're happy with this price, but Zeb, if you're not grading cards, I'd say just grab a couple raw and send them out the PSA and just get kind of familiar with it. But if you're already doing that, man, then and you're happy with this buy, that's all that matters. So Raheem, if you guys don't know who Raheem is, he's always in all like the Pokemon trivia we do. Dude's probably like the fastest typer ever. It's got a crazy knowledge. And he also told me he's a lot younger than a lot of us think he is. But he said recently bought 2 of the 3 secret rares from Platinum base set and PSA 9 for about $50 each. Not the flashiest cards in the world, but feel like it's a pretty good price for them. Have also been picking up a lot of raw Nair Mint reverse howls and howls from EX era, Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver for very low prices. So he picked up the Hitmonchan, the secret rare. It's 129 out of 127, and he picked up the Scyther, which is 130 out of 127. So the Hitmonchan obviously is the base set artwork. I would say reimagined, but it's more or less just kind of copied. And then the Scyther is the jungle artwork for the Scyther. Again, I would like to say reimagined, but it's not really that reimagined. But with that said, both these cards, great buys. The price you paid for them, the fact that you bought both these cards for $100, great buy. I would say that platinum packs alone are creeping close to $100 a piece. So the fact that you got 2 secret rares, both graded already in PSA 9s, which knowing platinum print quality, you're more likely than not going to get a 9, even assuming you get lucky and pull a pack fresh card. So the fact that you bought both these cards for the price of 1 pack, like, you did it, man. That's a great buy. I like that buy a lot. So the next one is from Kwati. He said, I'm Kwati from Compton. He's pronounced Kwati. It is the Spanish word for friends, twin, buddies. I know it can be tough to pronounce. I have been subscribed to you pre-1,000 milestone, 1K milestone. Hey, man, I appreciate you being subscribed to the channel for so long. That's a long time. It's got to be well over a year, almost probably, yeah, way over that. I saw your recent post about reaching purchases. I have 2, if that's okay with you. I collected as a kid, but stopped. First pack of Pokemon cards back into the hobby was actually the McDonald's promo pack. Wow, that's pretty crazy that the McDonald's promo cards got you back into the hobby. I want to have multiple complete sets as a memento of return to the hobby. So you bought 200 plus McDonald's promo cards for $30. How many? You get 4 cards in a pack. So for $30, the fact that that is now like the nostalgic set for you, like, hey man, good for me, good for you. You got a lot of multiples of that set. I wonder how many hollows were. Oh, it says regular and hollow. So no, I'm not gonna hate on that. Like, if that's the set you're now nostalgic for and that's what got you back into the hobby, like, and you probably saved yourself a crazy amount of money instead of buying all those packs during the craze, which was the McDonald's, everybody go out and buy a Happy Meal time. And then you said yesterday you bought 1 Pokemon Go ETB. Oh, hold on, I went too far. You bought 1 Pokemon Go ETB from GameStop to open to use, and then your $5 discount is attached as a picture of the hits. You plan to buy more once you see prices drop on the ETBs. So looking at this photo, it doesn't look like you had like the best luck. I've seen some people get pretty lucky with their Pokemon Go ETBs. I do see you pulled the Radiant Venusaur, which is sweet. Then you got a couple of the Blastoids and the Charizard. Yeah, man. Hey, if you're happy, if that was fun for you, nothing wrong with that. I like it. I appreciate you being a subscriber for so long too, man. So Dark Reaper, he said, greetings from Germany. These are all the things that I bought in June for the collection. Maybe you can notice ETB Focus. Sword and Shield base hasn't got a reprint over here, so he thought it's time to buy them. The Vivid Volta ETB was the reprint finally hit in Europe, and Astro Radiance ETB took some time from the US to get here. The UPC was a very nice pickup because a friend was leaving the hobby and sold it for a nice price, 230 euros. Dude, you did really good on that UPC. 230 euros is a really, really good price. That's well under market. So that gives you a lot of room just on that ETB alone. Or sorry, the UPC, I should say, not the ETB. And then, yeah, if you're a ETB collector, I can kind of see him in the background. I see you got the brilliant stars. Yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, people are ETB collectors, and you know, it's pretty interesting that Dark Reaper says this too, because I always like kind of forget that, you know, we're getting a lot of the products early, at least when it comes to English cards. Obviously, you know, Japan gets their Japanese releases, but when it comes to the rest of the world that are still collecting English cards, it is always crazy to think about that, you know, their reprint schedule or their supply chains are going to be so drastically different than us. And then especially now with the way, you know, supply chains are working, the fact that he's just now getting these Vivid Voltage ETB reprints trickling in now, and that the Astro Radiance, you know, definitely was lagging behind from what it is doing in America, like going on shelf. It always gives you like a new perspective to think about. So I appreciate this comment though, Dark Reaper. Next is from Cozy TCG. Said, bought this Rayquaza from a 2006 collector's tin, popped 28 last I checked. Got my hands on the Kyogre and the Groudon back in December. Rayquaza is a top 3 Pokemon for him, so he's determined to get him this year and complete the set. Glad I was able to achieve this goal. This is my biggest purchase so far. Last seller to sell a PSA 10 claims it sold 2.5K plus 1.2K trade value. Not sure if you believe him, but you think $1,750 is a good price. I don't know if this is a good price for the 10. To be honest with you, Cozy, I just don't follow the PSA 10 price of this card enough. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with like where this card would fall at a PSA 9, but it would be like way less than 1750. We're talking like I'd probably price this card in a PSA 9 around. See, I could be off with my numbers. I don't know really what the current market is, but maybe like $750 for this card and a 9. And then when you go down to an 8, you're probably gonna even cut that. Got an 8 for this card, you're gonna be cutting it a lot. You're gonna be at like, I don't know, like I don't want to say $100. That might be too low. Like 150 and an 8 for this card. Yeah, 150. So this is an interesting card because between the 8 and the 9, it's a drastic price difference. So between the 9 and a 10, this could be a really good price now that I think about it. Like I just am not familiar enough with the PSA 10 price, but it sounds like you've done a little bit of research. So, you know, there are people out there that are trying to complete Black Star promo sets and, you know, big time master Black Star promo sets. And the fact that this is only a pop 28, this might be a good price. I mean, these cards came out of the tin already damaged. So that does add one more layer to this. These tins are not really being opened as much anymore. The fact that this card was more promo than anything else means people probably weren't really keeping great care of them. So this could be a good price. It's just, again, card I'm not familiar enough with. But no, if that is true though, that the last 10 sold for, you know, close to $3,700 in value, like that's crazy. And then that would be a huge jump in price between the 9 and 10 for this card, like drastically different, which that jump from the 9 price of this card to the 10 does seem a little drastic, seeing how there is 28 in the pop. And we're not like talking like there's like 3 or 4. So yeah, I think you are right to really question this price to be true or not. That 20 or 20 2.5K plus 1.2K in trade value. So FelipeDS said, Burger King Pokemon 1999 complete set, 20 English sheets, 9 card per sheet. Something new for him to collect. I like that it was complete and uncut sheets. I don't usually venture away from official cards, but seemed like a fun pickup. They were $80 Canadian for the lot. Everybody should own Burger King cards, I guess. Like, I think if you're happy with this purchase, man, go for it. There's a lot of these sheets out there. I think a lot of people have them. I think a lot of people are trying to liquidate these sheets. My advice for any time you want to buy something like this is try to find the people that actually are sitting on them, because what you will find are the people that have these sheets for sale more or less normally have a lot of these sheets for sale. So if you reach out to them directly, maybe off eBay, shoot them an Instagram message, depending on how big of a seller is, you probably could get these sheets for a little cheaper. But if you're happy with that price, man, I mean, they're fun. They're Burger King sheets. They're very nostalgic for a lot of people. Like the Burger King Pokemon boom way outbeat like the the McDonald's boom we saw recently, at least for the nostalgic factor. Colors on Cardboard wrote, so we got an early cert CGC 9. I'm not very good at finding deals, new collector. This was the best deal I got for the month of June, in his opinion. This auction took place on a weekday, the very next day after the big Heritage auction. Maybe that was a good day to go shopping. Love the content. Keep it up. So he bought the Absol Prime. I want to say that this is from Triumphant, which a lot of people don't really, when you think of primes, like Absol might not be the number one you think about. Triumphant, I'd say maybe is the Mew is the big prime card from that set, depending on, or maybe I think the Gengar's in Triumphant too. So maybe those are the two big, but listen, prime cards right now, still probably undervalued, especially looking at prices for, any Heart Gold Soul Silver error pack is very expensive. The fact that this is the chase card, you already have it. This card is truly mint to potentially near mint, depending on how strict CGC was graded. For $46, $5 shipping, you're into this card for $51. The price of this pack is $80, $90, $100. I don't even know what a Heart Gold Soul Silver Triumphant pack goes for, but no, that's a good buy. And if you can crack this card and potentially resubmit it to PSA, if it is truly like a strong 9 potential 10 candidate at PSA, the upside potential on this card for cross grading would be huge. And even the price difference between a 9 in CGC versus a 9 for PSA would probably even cover your grading fees, assuming you broke even and submitted this card at like $30. I love this buy. I think this is a great buy. And then you also wrote, if you ever want to have a new collector on the channel to get the perspective of somebody new to the hobby, let you know. No, I appreciate that. So yeah, these are all these guys' IG's handles too, Colors on Cardboard. So recommend you guys go and giving all these guys subs. So RonnieT said, I amassed a semi-large collection from a friend who got it from a small storage shed payment that was overdue or something. He held it for a while, but he had no prior experience with Pokemon, so he sold the lot to me. From base all the way up to Sun and Moon, it was loaded with a ton of older and new bulk as well, and hundreds of hollows. It's my first large lot. It's been days of sorting, but getting close to finishing organized. Any tips for how the best work with such a lot, as this would be helpful as well. I plan to recoup 80% of my cost to acquire if possible, as well as keep things that I enjoy as well. I speculate will age well. Thanks for your time and community's time as well. Cheers, Ronnie. Sent with celebrations effort. So, Ronnie, now in your comment, you said that it was from like base set all the way up to Sun and Moon. Now, obviously in this photo, you could see like 2 ETB tops, one from Chill and Rain, one from Fusion Strike. Now, did it go up that modern? Because then What the hell? I mean, I see the Neo Premium file, but it's not even sealed, this premium file. So I would be curious if like these are your ETB tops and you were just using it to sort. But looking at the hollows that came in this set, I mean, obviously you got your gold stars here. Like the Flareon, what is it, Reggie Steele, and then one of the, I think that's, I can't even tell from this far away, but one of the gold star dogs. You can see the Mewtwo from Expedition stuck back there. Got the Mewtwo base set, Mewtwo movie promo. Team Rocket's Mewtwo there. I could see sticking out like Ditto from Skyridge there. And then I could see a bunch of more, modern EX cards though. It's hard to say, man. Like not knowing condition for a lot of this. Like, what does this bulk look like? Is this some like really good bulk you got going on? Like some decent reverse hollows from like EX sets and stuff like that? Or is it all super modern stuff? I don't really know. My advice, if you're trying to make some money, trying to recoup 80%, you pull out all your heavy hitters, send these cards away to PSA at $50 a card, probably be worth it for you. You'll get them back way faster than you will by submitting them at $30. You'll be able to turn and burn, free up a lot of money really fast. I mean, you have a lot of cards. I mean, the 3 gold stars right here. I mean, these cards alone are definitely worth the set, send at $50. Again, it's gonna matter for condition, a lot of these, but it looks like you got some banger cards in here. So yeah, just cough up, send some of the more higher end cards away to PSA, even at a higher tier, get them back fast, turn and burn those cards, get them back, sell them as fast as you can and recoup some of that money. Whether that means, buy it now, it's on eBay's if you have the time to wait, be a little patient, or you could take big risks, go right to like the auction route if you want. It really depends on how fast you need to recoup 80% of this money that it cost. But hopefully you didn't overspend on this and, you gave yourself a lot of breathing room. But no, this is a little cool pickup. Yeah, you always hear about like storage fines, but I don't know. I always question if like how true they are, but hey. So next is from Thrifty TCG. Now, if you guys are not subscribed to Thrifty, she has her own YouTube channel. She does like 10-second shorts and with top 10 card artworks from different, Pokemon. Definitely recommend you guys giving her a sub. But she said she's been picking up cheapish legendary collection hollows because the pops are way less than base and seem undervalued based on the box / pack prices, and Jolteon is getting cracked and resubmitted to PSA. So she's got the Jolteon from Japanese Split Earth. Now, if you guys don't know what Japanese Split Earth is, it's just the Japanese equivalent of the English Skyridge. And then Gyarados from Legendary Collection Hollow. She paid $56 for the Jolteon for the Hollow, $61 for the Gyarados, and a PSA 9 from Legendary Collection. It's crazy how undervalued some of these vintage cards are. Like, I think she already knew like I would like both these cards. Like both these cards are home runs. And yeah, like I think there's a ton of potential for these cards, especially when you look at the fact that the Gyarados is still a hollow from Legendary Collection and how much Legendary Collection packs cost. And don't give me the bullshit that, well, the prices for Legendary cards or Legendary Collection cards are more expensive because the reverse hollow slot. Like, I get it, but it doesn't detract from the fact that the Gyarados, the hollow, is still technically the hit from that set. So the fact that it's $61 already graded in a 9, great buy, Thrifty, great buy. Then she said, forgot to include this, but here's a weird one from this week that might be fun to show. A couple of factors went into this purchase. 1, I really love the artist. Don't at me. 2, it's an edition of 53. I'd rather own this than a PSA 10 first edition Jigglypuff, but that's just me. So it's a 2-color screen point on cocaine paper. What is cocaine paper? Are you trying to like demonetize this video? I have no clue what that is. Is that a thing? Somebody Google search cocaine paper right now, or don't. Maybe you don't want to Google search that. But hey, I mean, that's the Jigglypuff artwork is pretty badass. The fact that it's like kind of got that X-ray vision going where you can see the skeleton of Jigglypuff below it, or through it, I should say. I could dig it. That's pretty awesome. And the fact that they use the pink and stuff, pretty cool. I like it. So Cardboard Investments sent a message, said, my recent eBay buys versus series was only recent Japan and collectors are sleeping on them. The artwork speaks for itself. Buy the damn dip. So he's got the Lance's Dragonite, the Lance's Gyarados, and the Lance's Charizard. So I will have to disagree a little bit with Cardboard Investments that I don't think people are really sleeping on versus series anymore. I would say that people were definitely sleeping on versus series at one point, but I don't think so anymore. But again, we might be in that very finite part of this hobby where maybe there are probably still people sleeping on versus series. So versus series, when it comes to the artwork, and I'm not even a Japanese collector, not a fan of Japanese cards. When it comes to versus series, as an English collector, I am very jealous and very envious of Japanese collectors because of versus series. Versus series, these aren't even like the best artwork in versus. There's a lot of good artworks. So he didn't put prices for any of these cards, but yeah, man, if you're picking these up at a 9, not bad. And then Cardboard Investments also sent another message too. He said, I do buy the legend cards from Heart Gold Soul Silver when I see them at a good prices. Those are underrated as hell. Best cards Pokemon ever made. There's arguments to be made for that. One, definitely, I think those cards are undervalued, and they were undervalued for a long time, especially when these cards were selling for like $5 to $10 a piece, like extremely undervalued. I mean, the artwork for these, you can make the argument that these are some of the best, if not the best artworks for Pokemon cards in general. And anybody who's not familiar with legendary cards, like, or legend cards, I should say, like, you should definitely start to learn them. And I would say that the Lugia is probably close to, yeah, probably my favorite. Just the way he's diving in the water. Kind of, yeah. I think I've talked about that card before. Ancient Mew sent a couple cards. So he's got the Mew and then the Shining Raichu and the Shining Tyranitar. So the Mew being the Delta species one. He said, trying to get all Shinings as good of a price as I can. It's tough. These are crazy, are crazy pricey. So obviously the Mew is not a Shining card, but the Shining Raichu and the Shining Tyranitar, they are definitely not cheap. I mean, everyone knows what they have when they have these Shining cards. But I do love this Mew. Now, if anybody is not familiar with Ancient Mew, he's got an Instagram page. It's a great Instagram page. Definitely recommend you guys giving him a follow. He's like posting new updates of cards almost daily. I think he recently did pick up a Raichu from base set, which he actually said he never owned that card in the past. And I saw that he tagged me in that. That was pretty awesome too. But yeah, if you guys are not subbed to Ancient Mew on IG, definitely recommend you guys giving him a sub. PTCG vlog says, I've also been picking up a few regional / city cards for my collection. So very niche, very awesome, very underpriced for what they are. I mean, goodbye. I like all these cards. But then he also said, hey, PK, follow up from last time. I listed 2 more cards and they were purchased. So PTCG vlogs, when the first time we did this video, he had done a screen capture of the first card he ever sold on TCG Player. And I told him, I said, man, that is like the first step in order to start growing your collection, start selling cards. And the fact that at the time he only sold 1 card, but now he's up to 3 cards he sold, like that's a win. So I like these. And I like your taste too, man. I like that you're going after the more niche stuff. And I do love this Eevee artwork, and I love the Glaceon artwork too a lot. So this is going to finish off all the viewer submissions, but this goes to Drew. He's one of my mods. Hopefully he's in the chat right now. Don't know if he's in the chat. It's Drew. Let me go. Oh, Drew's in the chat. So this one goes to the Drew because he won Pokemon for the day. And he said, first card I went out of my way to get for my daughter. This was the one and only ones in the ETB book she wanted. She tried to pull it herself out of the ETB, but had no luck. It made her extremely happy to find this waiting for her in the mailbox one day. So all this is Pikachu V, full art from Brilliant Stars. Dude, price for a card like this does not matter. His daughter, first of all, the fact that Drew has his daughter collecting Pokemon cards, that's a win. Or for this hobby to grow, you need younger collectors to, be in this hobby. But the fact that you as a father could also share the collecting journey with your daughter, freaking awesome. And, as a kid, sometimes you do want to open that chase card. Look at me. I didn't pull my chase card as a kid, and I still to this day talk about it all the time as one of the worst parts of my childhood collecting experience was never pulling that base chat Raichu. But the fact that your daughter saw this Pikachu V out of all the cards in Brilliant Stars, and this was a card that she saw, this was a card that she wanted, and you went out and you just said, screw it. You went on eBay, spent the couple bucks to have this card mailed to you. When the mail came, daughter opened up this card. She was super happy because this was her chase card. Drew, you won. That's it. That's why I wanted to end it on a happy note. That's freaking awesome, man. That's what Pokemon, that's what this collecting journey, that's what all this stuff is all about. Really, really, yeah, I really appreciated that comment. That was definitely probably my favorite one. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys like this. Like I said, try to change it up a little bit. Do try to showcase, everyone out there. And I'll probably do this video again, maybe in a month or two. And if you guys do have purchases you've made and you want to showcase them on this channel, feel free to, message me. But you did see what I do. Whatever you send me, I'm literally just copy and pasting it from Instagram and slapping it right into a PowerPoint slide. So if there's spelling mistakes and stuff, I'm going to try to read through some of this stuff. It gets a little tough. I know, it's pretty crazy too to see so many people from overseas, their purchases, see what they're buying. I never want to talk down about anybody's purchase or anything like that. I just think it's awesome to see what everybody's buying because everybody's going to have different takes or different tastes. I'll definitely have the ones I like maybe a little bit more than others, but it's awesome to see what people are buying because it's one of the questions I always ask. I always ask that question, what are people buying? Because I never really know. And it is cool to see some of those buys though. And, even when I don't, and this is the thing too, is sometimes I'll get nitty gritty about the card or the prices that maybe some people paid, but the actual cards, I still love the cards. The cards they're buying are still great and they're still super slept on cards, a lot of them, one of the cards that I really, really liked was that Gyarados. Gyarados from Breakpoint, secret rare, beautiful card. Love that card. Didn't love the price, but I love that card. And I understand exactly what his thought process was buying that card. And yeah, that's just but I love that card. And his taste is fantastic. Maybe just was a little off on the price, but maybe that's where I just would say buy that card raw. But I understand the convenience fees for some of this stuff too. So it is interesting. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are liking this. Yeah, shoot. If you guys want your cards shown, just send me over IG messages or email. Email is definitely harder than IG, but I'll still answer, and showcase your guys' buys. Now, Basic Trainer, I think I saw him in the chat earlier. Basic Trainer did not send his Ponychu card. I guess we've already shilled that one too many times on this channel, but no, that's awesome. Just reading the comments real quick. Great hit Nick said, I started my ETB collection recently because prices have been pretty cheap. Yeah. This is I want to know what your guys' thoughts on like ETB collection. So I want to, if you're going to be an ETB collector, can you start collecting ETBs like now? Or, I mean, there's obviously the handful that are still available for relatively cheap. But one of my fears, and the reason why I don't go after collecting ETBs, is because if I went after ETBs, I feel like I'd have to be a completionist. And I do not want to go back in time and collect, like the ETBs that I totally missed out on. Like, Plasma Blast, Plasma Freeze, Plasma Storm, like those ETBs where I was in the hobby while those were still on the shelves, but I was not a buyer for those. Like I wouldn't even have considered buying ETBs at the time. One, being a new product. Two, price per pack being not as good. And I never would have stayed sealed. And all the little things that go on like with older ETBs like that, which is amazing that any of them, kind of still exists sealed. But for me, the reason I don't go after ETBs is when I got to go back. I'm like, I don't want to go back and buy these things when the ETB costs as much as almost the booster box for some of this stuff because of like the just sheer rarity and that stuff. So I am interested when people say that they're just starting to do ETB collection now, if they're going to go after it with that, got to complete this, got to catch them all type set, or if they're looking at ETBs as, you know what, I'm just going to start my collection maybe of ETBs at, I guess probably like call it Sun and Moon, or not Sun and Moon. I guess that would be even getting pricey, some of them. Let's just say from Sword and Shield to present, and then going into the future and just, having a smaller ETB collection. Or do you feel like to do ETBs, you have to go all the way back to the beginning? Because that's when it gets real pricey. So Killian said, what are your views on non-TCG cards like Cardass, both for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh, not the right person to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I know a little bit about Yu-Gi-Oh. Definitely don't know enough about like the Cardass cards or anything to talk about. As for Pokemon, like there's a lot of them out there. If you like them, go for them. I think Cardass cards for a very long time were undervalued. I think some Cardass cards are extremely overvalued now, but still probably for the vast majority of them are potentially undervalued. It comes down to condition. It comes down to a lot of different things. So Collecting Chaos said, were ETBs introduced in black and white? Yeah, at the very end, they were introduced at Plasma Storm was the first ever Pokemon ETB. So Arcaner Ness said, I took your advice, sold my first cards. Nothing special, a grade 9, Dark Jolteon, Flareon. Dark. Yeah, wow. I just had a stroke reading that. Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. Just wanted to see the feeling. So I'm guessing you sold the Dark Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon from Team Rocket, just like regular Team Rocket. So in a 9, hopefully you got a good price for them. Hopefully you got a fail of the market. It's nothing like selling your first card, man. Pokey Grindin said, any recommendations on Star Wars sealed? Yes. The best recommendation I could give you would be to reach out from Jake from Pokenomics, because he knows way more about Star Wars sealed than me. So that would be my recommendation for that. Collecting Chaos said, I just got in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Your only value is Starlight Rares, which are 1 in like 250 packs, I believe. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. Arkness said, the build and battle stadiums appeal more to me, and they are the same price plus the promos. Personally, I'm sticking to booster boxes. Yeah. When it comes to build and battle stadiums, a lot of people were fire sealing those, and they're not like a terrible, I mean, I don't know what a build and battle stadium like MSRP is for. I want to say it's extremely high, like 15, no, 49.99, 59.99, but they're very expensive for the MSRP price. But to pick those up when people are fire sealing them, because it still comes with 2 build and battle like boxes in it, plus the 4 extra packs. So you still get 12 packs out of it. And I saw some people like selling those things for pretty low, like sub $30. So that's actually not bad when you think about, depending on the set, of course, like Brilliant Stars and stuff. If you're buying it to open it, if you're buying it to sealed, I don't know. Depending on promos, yeah, it's not bad. Ancient Muse said, the quote, the old card shop, ETBs are bags. LL, I only go after specialty sets for ETBs personally, unless it's a set you really love. Now, I do like myself some Pokemon Center ETBs though, and I don't care if they're regular sets too. But maybe that's kind of like a specialties thing. Mason Berry said MSRP for a build and battle stadium is $50. Oh yeah, that's a really lot of money. Don't buy it at MSRP. All right. Hope you guys had fun on this live. It's always fun to see what you guys are buying. I always appreciate every single one of you guys reaching out to me, shooting me, Instagram messages, stuff like that. But for everyone else out there, catch you guys on the next video.